on the flippity flip.
Hello, and welcome back to the Cricket News podcast. Today I'm joined with James. How are you doing, James?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate.
Great, and I'm also joined with Benji. How's Benji?
Been better. Got the COVID.
You got the big C19.
Got the big C19. But it does mean that I watched every single minute of the IPL auction, and I've never been more prepped for an episode ever. So there we go.
Expecting big things from the Bing. So today we are going to be discussing Chennai Super Kings and how they've done in the auction. So Benji, seeing as they're your team, your preferred team, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate their auction?
I think Chennai had, I would say, a 8 out of 10 auction. I'm saying that because they missed out of 2 big names that they probably wanted to retain. If you looked at their auction technique, it was end of day 1, retain their championship winning core. So they didn't really do too much extra, and then day 2 fill in the gaps. Obviously, Chennai notably didn't get Faf du Plessis or Josh Hazlewood, which were 2 key overseas players last year. They've done all right in trying to fill those gaps. But yeah, I think that overall, Chennai will be quite happy. They've got quite a good base for the championship, probably just this year. I don't think too much thought to the future's gone on in the Chennai dressing room. But I think overall there's quite a good team. Now, Chennai managed to obviously replace Faf du Plessis and Josh Hazlewood with Devon Conway as that overseas opening spot. And they've also picked up Adam Milne to sort of fill that overseas fast bowler. Adam Milne, who didn't have a great IPL last year because he was sort of only playing when Trent Bolt wasn't there for Mumbai, but had a really good 100 and performed reasonably well in the World Cup when he played. Did he play in the World Cup? Have I just made that a fact up?
I think so.
Devon Conway?
No, Adam Milne.
Oh, Adam Milne.
T20 World Cup. I think he did.
Good.
Anyway,
yeah.
But he's a great fast bowler and offers. Well, no, he doesn't really offer any batting really. They've still got that core middle order of Ali, Raidu, and probably Robin Uthapar, and then Jadeja and Dhoni to finish off. And then a little bit of lower order batting in Chris Jordan, Dwayne Bravo, and Shivam Dubé to sort of shore up that batting attack. So actually, like, there's a thinking that you know, this Chennai team, if they pick the right team, might bat down towards 10 and 11. I think they might struggle, as they have in previous years, with a true out-and-out spinner. They've got Ali and Jadeja to sort of fill those overs in, but they've not got a frontline out-and-out spinner who's not in that all-rounder spot. But I think
this is where.
Go on then.
There is actually a spinner who they've got, but he's overseas. So they got Thisanka.
Yes, the Sri Lankan.
Now he's not an experienced spinner, so he's not like a Rashid Khan, for example. Although he might actually be older than Rashid Khan, I don't know. But he's only played 12 2020 internationals, but in his 2020 career, he's got an economy rate of 6.04. Like, this guy, he's an off break bowler. He's used as subcontinent conditions, and he just doesn't go for any runs at all. So they might play him. I know you can only fit in 4 overseas, so they might play him if they're, I don't know, if Moeen Ali's struggling for form with his bowling, or Jadeja isn't bowling well. Then they've got the options to, well, Jadeja will always play, but if Moeen Ali's not doing well, they have the option to throw in the Sri Lankan, who might offer a bit, and then they can put someone else as the batting overseas. So they've got a sort of backup there, which is pretty good.
What do you guys think about 14 crore for Deepak Chahar?
I think it's a lot, but I think they knew what they wanted. And I think by the time they'd missed out on getting Shardul Thakur back, they kind of needed him, because the great thing that you had in previous seasons with Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar sort of occupying your like 8 and 10 slots was that you knew you had people that can get a cameo of 18 off 3 if you're desperate, like right down the order, which means that your top order, your top 5, let's say, have license to hit and have license to really try to express themselves and put on a big score. Not that they really did that that much, but then you had the bowlers. So I think Deepak Chahar, he offers that with the bat, and also he won games. He would win games in the power play. He's one of the best like power play bowlers in the world, especially in the IPL, because he can swing that white ball. And I think that's where they saw the real value. But 14 crore ate a lot of their budget, and they couldn't really go for that many players under the age of 35.
It was interesting though. Well, actually, the average age of the Chennai team this year is under 27, which is the first time in a long time. I've done some stats on that. Yeah, they didn't. It was interesting because midway through day 2, Chennai still had the majority of their. They had the second highest purse left. They just didn't really spend it, but I think they had very distinct targets. Like they've picked up Chris Jordan, Dwayne Pretorius, and Dwayne Bravo, who all sort of do the same job, sort of that all-rounder, right on fast bowler. So like what they've done there, so they've taken those 3 players. So they've got quite a lot of cover, is what I'm saying, with Mitch Santner in there as well to be a spinner as well. So I think all in all, it's quite a well-rounded team. Young Indian talent. I know we were doing this last year, but young Indian talent. I mean, he's not Azuring anymore, but Tushar Deshpande was an interesting pickup. I know he was picked up for Delhi last year, played a few times for India A. I mean, in T20, he averages 21.7 with the ball, which isn't too bad for a T20.
Deshpande, he's a definite up and comer. He had a few good games for Delhi last year, and then his IPL career of last year ended abruptly when the 41-year-old Christopher Henry Gale hit him for about 29 off and over or 27 off and over. It was something brutal like that.
It was.
I don't think he played many games that season after that, but you know, that's the thing with young talent. You get hit for a few in your formative years, and he will have learned a lot from that. Tried to learn how to get back.
He's had a very good economy, and he's played very well in the side Mushtaq Ali Trophy, which is what we always like to refer to on this podcast. And also plays domestic cricket with Shivam Dubey. So there's going to be a little bit of knowledge there. They're going to know each other there. But yeah, anyway, I think all in all, quite a good auction for Chennai this year. Not too much thought for the future, but they've got a little bit left in their purse, which potentially, I don't know if it rolls over into next year. I don't know how those things work. I mean, they seem to change the rules each year in the IPL. But yeah, interesting one. Not an unhappy CSK fan.
Well, that's good. I do think that they have kind of mixed experience with youth, because you say they've not really looked to the future. They've picked up Dwayne Bravo back and Robin Uttapur, Ambati Rayudu, all these older players. They've still got Dhoni, who people thought he might have retired 2 seasons ago. So they've still got these experienced players, but then, and they spent a lot of money on their experienced players, but then they've also got a lot of younger players, young Indians who I haven't heard of most of them, just because they're not big names. And I don't know if that is building for the future. I don't know if they're thinking, well, if we've got all this experience mixed with youth, then the youth can look at the experience and gain some insight and gain some an understanding of how to win these competitions, because this Chennai team, they win the IPL more often than not. And they've got good scouts, because Shardul Thakur, who used to play for them, Deepak Chahar, Ruturaj Gaikwad, I'd never heard of them before Chennai started playing them in the IPL, and they've done really well. So they've obviously got good scouts, and these Indian players, I just hope that they get an opportunity for Chennai, because Chennai have a very good first 11, But outside of that first 11, the experience, especially in the Indian players, isn't that much. Yeah. So if say Uttapa gets injured or something and they bring in an Indian player, how are they going to do? So I think that will be the test for Chennai, is if they can get their first team out, great, yes, the same as last year. But if they can't, then it might explode a little bit.
One last comment, if I may, just on T20s and on youth specifically. Prashant Solanki. Now he is a 22-year-old leg spinner that Chennai picked up for 1.2 crore. So he was in the uncapped bowlers category, and they paid 1.2 crores, quite a lot for a player that's only played 10 matches at domestic level. He's played 9 List A's and 1 T20. So again, this is what you're saying. They're giving a little bit of a chance and having them in the squad, these younger players. So maybe Solanki's one to watch. They must have seen something that we've missed, because he's not played that much domestically. But he could be again another big one for the future.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to end. And I look forward to seeing how CSK do. I think it could be it'll be a really interesting one. I think they definitely went into the auction with a clear mindset. I saw the little committee of wizards that were there, like all the old blokes around the table, about twice the age of every other table.
Yeah. And Stephen Fleming had just bought all of the New Zealand players.
Yeah. So it'll be
dad and Raidu's dad.
Yeah, it's Batu Raidu's dad.
So I look forward to seeing CSK, and hopefully you guys do too. So please comment what you think CSK's best 11 looks like, and also comment what you think their biggest weakness will be. Be it squad depth, lack of experience in certain areas, or whether or not they have a lack of an out-and-out spinner. So leave comments below. Please leave a like as well. Follow us on our social medias. We are at Cricket Nerds Pod, and we'll see you guys
later
on the flippity flip.
No.